Rapidweaver 8 stacks 4 and Foundation 6. Just having a run around my site styles, just see what I'm doing with this site. This is an existing Rapidweaver 8 site using Foundation 1, which I'm converting to Foundation 6, just as a way of learning how everything works. So just thought I'd have a run through, see what I've got in site styles. It's quite a complex site, as you can see, lots and lots of pages. Site styles is normally in a partial. I've unpacked it from the partial here, just makes it a little bit easier to look at and just see what I've got. I'm using Font Pro, so I've got a number of fonts set up. Open Sans Google Font, and because some of the stacks I'm using still use the font vaults and the font stars as well as the Foundation 6 settings, I've got them set up as font vaults and font stars as well. So this is my main paragraph text. I've got a title as text, which gives me sizes as well for the various fonts. So that applies that to Libre Baskerville, and Special Elite as one I was playing around with, putting it in just so that I could see the font changing as I made changes to make sure it's actually taking effect. And one or two odds and ends as well, like the blog titles. I've changed the sizes of the blog titles, and some of the text in one of my other blogs, which is a sales page, and squeezing the font a little bit just to get a little bit more space in. Again, that's set up there. Menu font, all this does is set up again the size of the font in my menu, so that's using a component and actually targeting that, the menu. Accordion, I'm using accordion on the site again, so this is styling the accordion titles, just making them a little bit bigger, and also using a Foundation 6 tabs. So again, targeting it with component and telling the tab what size I want the font at different breakpoints. That's the fonts. Moving on to the swatches. These will be a little bit simpler, I think. I've got backgrounds set, so blue background, red background and grey background, and I've given these simple names so I can remember them. So that's the class of each of the backgrounds: blue back, red black, grey black. And also table. I want to set up the heading of the table so that it was a different colour, and again that's all it is. Again, using a component, it's targeting the table header. That works well. I've got various bits and pieces going on with buttons, so picking a different colour palettes. I can't remember why I put opacity in. I might not even be using that, but need to look at that. And the menu style. I'm using a top bar menu, which is from one of Joe's templates, so I've set it up as a background colour and various hover colours, and also the font colour and a border as well. So let's have a quick look at that. In fact, there we go. So this is effectively the menu straight from Joe Workman's template, and we've got nice hover effects as we go over it. Those are the colours I set, and also that's that top border line there, just to give me a divider. So hover effects and also colours there. Button links as well. Set up colours for the button links, hover, and also they change shape slightly. Just have a play with that. Again, we can see that if we look at the preview. Looks like I've broken some of the padding there by changing the names, but if you move over the button there, you can see that it's actually changing shape slightly and changing colour. And padding, you notice I'm using these in a pen stack, the free pen stack. It just allows grouping so that I can see what's going on. So padding of 4, that's 4 all around, padding of 12, padding 24, and you can see the effect it's going to be by looking down at the bottom here, and the same with the margins. And again, I've just given them simple names so that when I use them further down I know what's going on. So that's it really. So it's a slightly different concept. All the styling is done effectively within the site styles stack rather than changing the settings on each individual stack. Just have a look at some of those effects now in preview. Go to the front page again. I've fixed that padding and margin spacing. Not quite sure what's going on there. You can see the buttons changing as we go on, and we've got the menu with the nice hover effects. And that's also a button. Let's have a look at the tables. So I applied the the color background to the top of the table. That's just a markdown table in a text stack. And now have a look at some of the tabs. Here we go. So again, the color background and also the font, that's the Libre Baskerville font that's been applied. And buttons again, changing shape and color. I'm using non-Foundation 6 stacks as well. It is a very good timeline stack. In fact, I can't remember who this one's from, but it works very well. So that's working fine in Foundation 6. And also the blog as well. It's a total CMS blog. This is a total CMS blog as used on the Foundation 1 site, so that runs fine. In Foundation 6, no problems whatsoever. So there you have it, just a quick run around site styles and just see how I'm working at the moment. But it's all a learning curve, so a lot more to come, I'm sure.